Hi everyone, Diane and Tamsin here, and welcome to episode 3 of The Why of Art, our podcast exploring fascinating aspects of the world of art. 40,000 years ago, while the world was in the grip of an ice age, in the flickering light of a fire, one of our Stone Age ancestors placed their hand on a cave wall and used a hollow bone or reed to blow pigment round it. This is the earliest known artistic impulse ever made, and today we're following in the footsteps of those ancient people and finding out more about the why of art. So on the table today, Tamsin and I have got a selection of pastels, unison pastels and Sennelier pastels and all sorts of other pastels, Rembrandt and you name it. I've probably got it there in this box here. These ones are unison. We've also got different sized charcoal. You'll realise why I'm saying this in the first place in a minute. And this is a box of something that the French call sanguine, which is a kind of red pastel chalky kind of thing made by Conte. And that's going to be very important in what we're going to be doing today. I've also got some paper towel because, you know, you shouldn't use pastels without access to plenty of paper towel, should you, Tamsin?
Yes, indeed.
My hands are already filthy and I haven't even done anything yet. We've also got some De La Rowney paper here. This is pastel paper, comes in assorted colours, comes in different sizes as well. And we also have here another kind of pastel paper, which is pastel matte, which is from Clairefontaine. And this has a sort of velvety kind of texture. So pastel works very well on there if you wish to be a little bit more sophisticated. Now, what we're going to be doing today is talking about something of which the anniversary of the discovery of it was
September the 12th, 1940.
So during the Second World War, when the caves of Lascaux in the Dordogne in France were discovered. 4 little boys, not very little actually, 4 teenagers and their dog discovered the caves at Lascaux, which have since become incredibly famous as being the site of pretty much the oldest paintings in existence, which were done by Ice Age man about 40,000 years ago. And we have been investigating this because with our limitless curiosity, which is characteristic of mankind, we wanted to know how all of this connected with the art that all of us produce today. So that's what we're going to be exploring today. And I won't move those out of the way because they're going to be probably the most popular ones. We're going to be trying to copy some of these, and we're going to be talking about what this art that was done so many years ago, although it's only a mere bat of the eyelid in terms of the history of life on this planet. Humanity itself has only been around for a fraction of a millimeter of the time of the span. Yeah. So, but anyway, so this is where it all seems to have begun. So, what are you going to do to start with, Tamsin?
Well, I'm looking forward to getting my hands dirty.
Oh, good.
I think I'm going to start with this. We have here a picture of a sort of a frieze of 3 horses and a cow of some kind of.
This one looks like a Shetland pony.
It does look like a Shetland pony. And there's another one here, which is,
look.
It's called the Parade of the Little Horses or Parade of the Tiny Horses or something.
Yeah, aren't they the Stone Age horses?
I would imagine so.
They were smaller than the horses that we have nowadays, a lot smaller. And I think they were smaller than the Shetland type too. They're cute, aren't they?
They are very cute. So I don't know. And then I've got this one. This is the same one here, isn't it?
Is it?
The reproduction isn't
looks
very
like
clear.
It's got wings.
Yes.
It's like Pegasus.
Damage, I think, on the fresco. So that's that one. And then this is this one. So we've kind of got them enlarged there. So I just thought I would start with one at random.
It's interesting how they seem to have put things on top of each other. Like this looks like it's behind that.
Yeah, I have, and we were looking also, weren't we, just now at pictures of a different cave. What's it called? The other cave? Chauvet cave in France.
Chauvet, yeah, that's closed as well now too.
I'm sure. But in that one, they had the most amazing effect of painting or drawing the same animal in multiple positions just offset from each other. So it really gives the impression of running. And it made me think, why didn't art go like that? How come, it could have been different, couldn't it? We could have all decided that art should represent movement and time and not just a static moment.
Yeah, that is
so
an interesting
40,000 years ago, they were doing it differently. And you can see even on the back of this cow here, there's another line. And I don't think that was a mistake. This is them showing movement, and they're all moving and they're all overlapping. And it's really quite amazing.
Do you remember those little flip books that we used to do?
Exactly.
And so it was as if they were doing one of each page.
And maybe their eyes worked differently to us because they were hunters and they were always on the,
They would have been interested in movement, wouldn't
Absolutely.
they? Because they wanted to catch things. So,
yeah. And the one from Chauvet had the subtly different alignments of the heads of the horse as it moved, sort of just amazing.
Apparently, Picasso, when he got to see these, he was still alive when this was all discovered. And he said something to the effect that they'd all been wasting their time trying to be clever because it had all been done before, and that there was nothing new in the art world had been attempted since 40,000 years ago.
It's so interesting, isn't it? Because we created a highly refined art form, and then since then we've realised that was, talk about realising that perfectionism is wrong.
This is a big lesson, isn't it?
The whole of civilization creating this highly refined Renaissance art form, which then everybody realised was kind of pointless
in the light of the camera,
and then everyone tried to create modern art, only to discover that all they've done is achieve what was done 40,000 years ago.
Pretty much, yes.
By people we thought were savages.
Because these paintings in the caves, and it's not only in one place, it's there in Lascaux in the Dordogne, but in other parts of the world too, they show shading and they show perspective and they show all the things that today we think were only discovered as time went by. If you go back to about 1100 in the history of art, everything was basically flat. There was no indication of three-dimensionality on the paper, and it was only later in the Renaissance that began to be introduced and everything. And yet they had it way back then. So we haven't discovered anything. As I read this just now, it said that it seems that ability to represent three-dimensionality on a flat surface is something that's intrinsic to the human brain and has always been there, waiting to be
and yet
allowed
somehow
out.
It was buried. It was lost.
Yes, buried under something.
But it's clear here, there's no question with this shading around the belly and so on, there's no question that that's representing three-dimensionality far superior to anything the ancient Egyptians ever came up with.
No, they had gone back to the flat.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Very much so.
Something had happened in that 40,000 years. A couple more ice ages and a lot of migration, and they'd probably forgotten. Like we're in the process of forgetting a lot of things now.
But highly civilized and lots of sculpture, like the Greeks, lots of sculpture.
What, you mean the ice age people?
No, the Egyptians. Lots of sculpture, three-dimensionally correct sculpture, but not represented in relief or in friezes.
Three-dimensionally accurate if you happen to be an alien. Because their sculptures and statues are absolutely not lifelike. It's quite strange compared to the Greeks.
Yes, that's true. And the shapes of heads and so on does make you wonder.
That's a whole other story. We can look at that another day.
Yes, let's leave that one for another day. Okay, so I'm going to open up my paper
so we'll
now
start painting now.
Before we start talking complete rubbish.
We're not talking rubbish.
Only slight rubbish allowed.
So now I know you don't believe in my alien conspiracy theory.
I think I might actually, but I'm not sure that it's necessarily for public consumption.
Who are the public that you're thinking of?
Oh, I don't know.
Aren't they the people who we love and talk to every couple of weeks?
And trust with the deepest thoughts of the recesses of our
minds. Yes. Right, so I'm going to draw an outline first, I think, with a piece of charcoal. Which one shall I do? What one are you going to do? You can't have them all.
I quite fancy this horse. I'm going to start with this horse.
I'm going to start with that horse.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
Can I borrow this one then?
Yeah, of course. You don't even need to borrow it. It's yours. I'm going to have a short, fat piece of charcoal.
This is interesting, this charcoal here. I didn't mention it. I just mentioned it in passing. I've got 3 or 4 boxes of this charcoal. It's all very old. Don't blame me if it collapses when I start to use it, because it is old. But it's great, isn't it? It's very natural. And look how black it is. And you cannot be a, inverted commas, perfectionist if you use charcoal. So if somebody out there is wondering how they can break their desire to, always put in all the fine details in their work, just pick up a nice thick chunk of charcoal and see how you can put the perfection in using that. Eh? Not going to happen,
It's very, very satisfying.
Yeah, it is.
It's a gorgeous feeling. And I picked up a second ago this little piece of pastel. I don't know whether it is one of those unison pastels, but it's so creamy.
Yeah. Let me see.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's unison, yes.
I have no idea whether this is going to look right or not. I'm just kind of looking at the printout as I go rather than looking at what I'm doing.
Now, if you were
or not.
Sorry, if you were an Ice Age artist, you wouldn't ever have the tendency to think that you were going to copy, would you? What would you copy? Only the real thing, right?
The interesting thing that these images make me, well, one of the things that they've made me realise is that they must have had, I'm sure they must have had people who were actually artists.
Who are designated as, he's the one who does the pictures.
Yeah, because there's no way that they could all have had this skill.
Well, they probably did, but they were probably required to do something else more useful.
Well,
like
that's what I mean.
Pounding the grain.
To
or
learn the skill.
Lighting the fire. That must have been a permanent job. They must have had people who were permanent firelighters.
I think I've made my horse quite big.
Oh, that's wonderful. Look how dramatic that is.
Covered the whole page.
I'm being a bit fiddly here. I'm kind of fiddle-fadding around a bit. It's the first time I've ever done a Stone Age horse.
Isn't it fun as a topic? I mean...
Oh, yeah.
So do you think we're going to find ourselves connecting with our ancient origins?
Yes. I was always very interested in this kind. I was a subscriber to Look and Learn, I might say, so I knew a bit about this before we even started on this. And it was, for me, always fascinating, thinking about what used to go on. So in basically the relatively recent past, because I know 40,000 years sounds like a long time, but it isn't when it's in terms of the history of life on Earth. Thank you, Mr. Attenborough.
And you were saying that basically genetically we haven't changed.
No, we haven't. And that is amazing. And we didn't know that. When I was a kid, we didn't know that. We thought we had. And so if you go back through all those old magazines and things that have got drawings of what cavemen would have looked like 45,000 years ago.
They look,
they've got funny faces with big jaws and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't. And they know that they didn't now because they've done all this DNA work and they can tell exactly how they looked and exactly how they functioned. And
that's
they
amazing.
functioned exactly like us.
Yeah.
Poor things.
You were saying earlier while we were talking about this that, what would have happened if you gave Stone Age man a computer? They probably would have been able to use it because they were the same as us.
They had the same brain. They did. Yeah, exactly. And I'm absolutely certain that they could have used a typewriter. You'd have only had to have shown them how to do it. And they weren't stupid. And you can tell that when you look at these little drawings. I mean, they're fabulous, aren't they? I've done the outline of this one here. And I'm going to colour him in with this colour because this is pretty much ochre. That is pretty much exactly. And I'm not going to do it too dark though. Just put it up on his shoulder, on his rump there, and a bit here. Oh, it's nice to do something completely different. I know now what people mean when they say, I've always painted in acrylic and I've just discovered watercolour and I'm so free. I can look at the colours and they're all running. Well, it's a bit the same when you've always painted in watercolour and suddenly you revert. I did a lot of pastel before. Used to do.
Yeah.
But obviously. The reason why I stopped was because it does dry the skin a bit. And it's messy and it does make a lot of dust everywhere. So that is the problem. But it is it is a bit. It's a lot of fun.
I think you
It's
can
a lot of
probably
fun.
give up on the mess argument though, because we've got all these dogs and cats and things all over the place now. So
Yeah. Oh, that one's too hard. These are going to vary in hardness in here. I don't know if you've noticed.
I just picked one out. So no.
Oh, that one's hard. I think we'll try this one.
So we were wondering, weren't we, about why these might have been created, these images, and whether they were communication or symbolic or just for the sheer heck of it, or whether they were hoping to induce the gods to bring them good hunting. Or whether it was for commemoration of, or rather for people, the kings or whatever who might have died, to send them off into the new world with food,
like the
ready,
Egyptians,
like the Egyptians did, and like I think the ancient Greeks as well.
Did they do that? I don't know about that. I don't know much about the Greeks. I think I was away from school.
Put a coin in your mouth as you cross the
river Styx
to pay the ferryman, that sort of thing. Because these ones in particular were buried deep, weren't they, in a really long way into the cave.
Long way into the caves, yeah.
So not just a kind of Sunday afternoon something to do.
Well, not only that, they were on the ceilings of the caves, so nobody ever mentions that. There's these great things. I mean, Michelangelo, eat your heart out kind of thing, because they must have known how to build scaffolding. There's no way on earth that they could have done that without having built some kind of. So they must have carried wooden planks, or not planks perhaps, but branches or small trees,
which they would have bound together.
Yeah,
with
and they would have done all of
kind.
that. They would have done all of that. Why?
So why? Yeah.
Why?
What was the? Is it just something that's so intrinsically human that we have to create?
I think that's true. I think it is necessary for humans to create. I think it is what makes us human. That we were talking about that earlier too. That people, if they deny themselves the right to create, then they're damaging their whole reason for being, and their existence is threatened because you have to do it. It's something that's in our DNA.
It sort of makes you a bit less human than you are capable of being if you deny yourself.
Because it's meant to be. It's there, like Picasso said. It's in your. It was buried in your brain, and if you push it back, if we don't allow it out, what's going to happen to your mind? You're going to go squirrely. I don't know whether people are having much problems with their mental health these days. Are they?
Well, I do hear the word mentioned sometimes, just in passing.
So it could be true, couldn't it?
I think this horse is too big. He's crowding out the others.
Well, that's not a problem. Just be like a Stone Age man and paint over the top of it.
I was going to do a handprint, shall I? I'll just go around my hand.
Why not? Probably, I can hear that being said right now, way back then, 40,000 years ago.
What shall I paint, Mummy? Oh, just draw around your hand.
And then when you draw around your hand, draw a bison, because we need one for dinner.
Yes.
Will a bison to appear?
Daddy's off hunting, so draw a bison. I think they need to go a bit closer in, because they do it. They actually blew round their hands, didn't they?
Yeah. You know what they might have done? They might have said, look, I tell you what, Fred keeps on bringing home the wrong kind of animals. He keeps bringing home.
So draw him a picture of what he's supposed to be killing.
And if he can just be made to look at that picture and see, that is what we want. We don't want a porcupine. We're not interested in even, birds of paradise or anything like that.
But they have very nice feathers.
They do, but that's fine. We've got enough of them. Show him what a bison looks like, because that's a month's food for us.
Yeah, could be. But then why are we painting it at the back of this cave, Mummy? Why don't we put it at the front where it's easier to see?
If I could answer that one, Jenny, I'd be a rich woman.
Right, okay.
And I wouldn't pay my house tax.
Now.
So, yeah, what was it? It's interesting, apparently, the migration that they arrived. These things arrived suddenly, didn't they? And they found older stuff, quite a bit older, 100,000 years old, in somewhere like the Philippines or something like that, further away, yeah?
Right.
Which was much more primitive. They were just scratched lines. And then there's nothing else really of any interest until they found this, which was, 65,000 years later. But a lot must have been happening in the meantime,
which didn't survive.
I mean, so this was not what everyone did all the time, clearly, was it?
Well, it makes you wonder how much was going on that wasn't in caves, to be honest, doesn't it? Because, I mean, these have survived because they were in caves.
Exactly. And the majority wouldn't have been, because not everyone was lucky enough to have a cave, were they?
Well, I was thinking earlier about, trying to put myself in the shoes of a Ice Age or Stone Age man, woman, and thinking, well, we don't know. They
might have done. They probably did have sandals of some sort.
Or some kind of wrapping.
Yeah.
So you're sitting there and you have a gloriously internet-free existence.
Oh.
You don't have to deal with AI. You don't have to deal with your computer glitching. You also don't have heating or a supermarket or electricity. But so you're sitting in the mouth of your cave / hut / stone dwelling. And what do you have to do?
Well, you can grind some corn.
This is. I'm assuming here that you've already, you've done
ground
the day's
corn,
work and
right.
maybe it's dark.
Right.
And you would spend a lot of time just kind of contemplating the sky, wouldn't you, and the stars and connecting with the world around you much more than we do now.
You would indeed be much more connected with the world around you, wouldn't you?
And it definitely makes you think that you would pretty quickly pick up a stick and scratch something into the ground in front of you.
Well, don't we all do that? We do, don't we?
It is hard to imagine that art didn't come along at the same time.
I would reckon about the same time as the opposable thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe even before. I mean, there's nothing to stop you doing this, is there, even if you don't have an opposable thumb? But yeah. So you were saying, and I thought that was a really quite an intuitive leap, and it could well be very true, that people would have started to chart the path of the sun and the stars and have a primitive calendar kind of thing.
Yeah, and it would have maybe been kept on a large stone outside the mouth of the cave. And, that winter's coming when the star in this constellation is lined up with this.
Ugh.
Well, this is it.
Could they speak?
This
is looking very good. I like all that smudgy stuff.
Smudging is quite easy, isn't it, with pastels?
I seem to have gone a bit tight.
It's unusual. Yes, I don't think I've quite got the character of this here creature, whatever that is. Bison type thing. You see, it's very good what they did.
Yeah.
It's very good.
The other thing is thinking about how good it is what they did. If they were like 500 yards down inside of a cave, they were a long way away from these things, weren't they?
Yeah.
So they only had their own memories to rely on.
Or a drawing that they took in with them.
Oh, well, that's
that they'd done on a piece of skin or something. But still, no cameras. So they were relying on their memory and their visual acuity. There seems to be quite a lot of, if you look online, there's quite a lot of what they're calling sort of Stone Age art. So this has obviously attracted the or captured the imaginations, let's say, of quite a lot of
There were a
people.
few articles in The Guardian and places like that talking about it during the pandemic,
Right.
when we all hoped that everybody was going to
Wake up and change.
Yeah, but they didn't.
This is it. It's so easy to allow yourself to be distracted from what you believe in.
Mm.
You can't erase charcoal very easily, can you?
No, you can't.
I wonder if that's a tree or just a piece of cave.
Interesting. I'm going to put this little pony.
Is that your little pony?
I suppose it is.
Sorry, bad joke.
No, I've forgotten all about my little pony. Did you have a little pony?
I think I did, but I didn't know what to do with it.
You never knew what to do with any of
No,
your
I
toys.
didn't. Give me a book and a puzzle.
Yep.
I think I did have a My Little Pony, and I had a Care Bear. And
You
I didn't
did.
know what to do with that either.
You were hopeless.
Yeah.
It was like, what should we get her for Christmas? Well, the Encyclopedia Britannica, perhaps.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, it wasn't quite that bad.
No, that's true. Don't have the memory for encyclopedias, do I?
Used to.
Thanks.
Don't know what's happened recently.
If you can hear scrumbling in the background, that's the dog.
He's doing a Stone Age picture too. Yeah. You didn't know that animals could paint and draw, did you? Oh, do you remember that? I can't remember who it was now. Was it Jane Goodall? No, she was gorillas, wasn't she? Somebody was looking after chimpanzees and raising them, and they taught one of them how to paint, and paint.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure that wasn't Desmond Morris as well. I think it might have been something to do with him.
That's interesting, because I was saying earlier, I kind of was wondering, well, that looks more like a dog than a horse. I don't know how that happened.
That's okay. It's an embryonic Labrador.
Yeah.
Quick, call Andrew. We've got your next dog.
That it seemed like there were no... Well, you said, didn't you, when we were thinking about this earlier, that humans seem to be the only creatures that are curious. And
Truly
and then
curious.
we kind of thought about that for a bit and thought, well, they always say cats are curious, but then maybe it's not so much curiosity as thinking about the future, the ability to say,
I've got a feeling it's going to turn
to
cold.
happen. It's going to turn cold. I need to seek warmer land or whatever, and you move because of that.
Which they definitely did.
And I wondered whether that art, whether art, the creativity and the desire to create art came from that ability to project into the future.
And the past.
And
memory. I've just realised, okay, we used to live in the Dordogne and we've gone trolling off north now. We live in Brittany.
Yeah.
I wish we could be in the Dordogne. It used to look like this.
So you'd
try to draw it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And maybe someone comes along, who's been travelling, and you say, oh, do you know how to, I want to go to somewhere that has this.
Oh, I'll draw you a map.
Draw you a picture.
I'll draw you a map.
So did that chimpanzee, were they, if a chimpanzee can be taught to paint, then does that mean that a chimpanzee has a sense of past and future too? Or are the two connected?
Well, you do see something in their eyes, don't you? And the gorillas especially. You can see in their eyes that they've got deep intelligence. They can't speak, but they can certainly, well,
they have very
give
strong
you the
family
impression
bonds,
that they have feelings,
and they raise their young, don't they?
They keep them about 5 years, I think, before they finally leave.
Yeah, maybe more.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether we have any right to claim that we're in any way unique, us humans.
No, I don't think we should. Only what we've developed from that, something that happened that made us become self-aware, to have a sense of ego and to want to create things. And then I think the brain probably developed in different ways from what it had been like, say, 100,000 years ago, or more than 100,000 years ago, or even at the very first walking across the sands of Africa.
But maybe it's not about what's in the brain so much as what's active, because if, like we were just saying, if they were able to produce art 40,000 years ago that then was forgotten for 40,000 years, then maybe nothing new has been developed. Maybe it's just that it was lost or hasn't all been switched on. I don't know. It's interesting. It's quite fun though, I have to say, doing this. Highly recommend it. And very peaceful for the eyes. Looking at these neutral colours is very, very restful. It makes the vibrant pinks and greens and blues look quite...
OTT.
Yeah. Now, where's the parade of little ponies? Can I borrow that? No, it's underneath, the one underneath. That's that. That's the one. Yes, thank you. I don't know where I'm going to put them, but maybe I need another piece of paper. He's rather good, isn't he? You have to try to get right down to the essential marks.
You do. I keep going to the wrong one. I keep looking at that one. I'm supposed to be looking at that one. Yeah, this is, if anybody out there is interested in painting animals, I think that is the key, is the essential marks. What matters, what looks right. I discovered that when I've spent such a lot of time painting little birds, and eventually, after endless failures, I figured out the things that actually make a difference, and that just moving the eye a tiny bit, or where you put the beak, and all those silly little things, doesn't really matter so much what else you do.
There are certain things that have to be right.
Certain things that make it bird, isn't it? Make it bird. I'm limiting myself to just a couple of colours, because where I lived in my cave, we only had two different colours of brown,
Right.
Sort of reddish brown and this ochre colour, and black, because that's charcoal that's made from wood.
This one is a very good match, isn't it? That is
pretty much
the right one.
Yeah. I don't know when these photos were taken of the cave paintings, but they have suffered a lot of damage, haven't they?
Apparently so, yeah.
So I don't know whether what we're looking at here was pre or post damage.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about them, but I didn't realise that the caves had been closed, and that what you visit is a replica since 1960.
Yeah.
But a lot of damage can be done in 20 years.
They discovered them in 1940, and they were closed in 63, I think it said.
Yeah.
Or was it 65? 1960.
And then in 83 they opened the replica.
That's right. Which I visited in... I thought you were there.
I think I might have been.
I remember saying you were, because we went to Paddy Rack as well.
Right, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Down to the Gulf of Paddy Rack. There's a lot of things very interesting in the Dordogne.
I remember the entrance to the Lascaux cave. I don't think I knew at the time, or I had forgotten since, that it was a replica. I have a vague.
You were only 8.
I have a vague memory of wondering why the cave had steps down into it.
I don't remember the steps. I don't remember much about it at all. I sort of remember the fact that it was a replica and that it was very good and that it was quite difficult to see the drawings and things. Paddy
What,
rack.
because of the number of people, or because they were just distant?
Dark.
Right.
Yeah. Remember Paddy Rack? That was impressive. My goodness me. Underwater
I became
caves.
obsessed by stalagmites and stalactites. And then named our cat after it.
Yeah, we did. We had a pussy cat called Paddy Rack, didn't we? Catty Rack.
Well, I think there's quite a lot to be learnt from copying these Stone Age men and women.
Yeah, it could have been women, couldn't it? Who says it was men?
Well, I was reading something about caves, some of the caves in Africa, and they reckoned that the hunters that are being portrayed on those caves were women.
Really?
I didn't read much.
Who's to say that it wouldn't be women, though? That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you got one over there that's facing the other way?
Yep. I have the red bull cow.
Oh, yeah. I've
You've
already
already
him.
done that. Okay.
I can do it again as a horse. Everything's going to the right.
Yes, and that's an interesting thing too, because in the cave of the one I keep on forgetting the name of, the Chauvet cave, they're all going left.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
Left-handed, right-handed?
Could be. Could be to do with the way that the animals tended to move when they were being hunted, I suppose.
Yeah, that's an interesting
Like in
thing.
Alberta, the head smashed in buffalo jump.
Good name.
If you had a cliff overlooking head smashed in buffalo jump, then
Good
you would
name.
always see them running to the left.
I couldn't stand that place. I had to leave the room. I couldn't bear the idea of all those hundreds of thousands of buffalo
Having their heads smashed in.
Oh, God, it's awful.
Yeah. It's okay.
Oh,
I don't think they do it anymore.
but they destroyed the whole
Yeah.
thing. It's just awful.
Yeah.
That was a bit extreme.
Yeah.
It was just to eradicate the Indians. That's what made it so bad.
Yeah.
We shouldn't talk about that either.
No.
It's depressing.
Yeah.
Right, lighten the mood.
Yeah.
Head smashed in buffalo jump.
Sorry. Didn't know that had affected you so deep. I'd forgotten that.
There are
actually.
things like that that I just can't tolerate. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Some things don't bother me at all, but yes.
Yes.
Some people would say it's because you were there, or you have racial memory or something.
Well, maybe. You might have been picking up on other people's racial memories.
Mm.
There are those who believe that places have energetic imprints, so you might have been picking up on that too.
Mm. Well, how long have we been doing this now?
Oh, I don't know.
We've been chatting quite a lot, haven't we? And I had something written down here that I wanted to say about, there was a couple of things. I've got a piece of paper here. Why did they do it? We've talked about all of those things quite a lot, but we haven't said that maybe they did it just for the joy of it.
Yes.
I find that difficult to imagine with a Lascaux because it wouldn't have been very joyful lying on your back on a piece of very shaky scaffolding, painting buffaloes and bisons on the ceiling.
I think that's one of the main reasons for supposing that it had some kind of spiritual significance for them, because otherwise, what else is important enough to put yourself through physical discomfort like that, unless you believe that it's in some way meaningful in the afterlife, or in some way going to be an offering to a god or something.
Well, we know that the Minoans worship the bull, don't we? So, and that we have records of the fact that they definitely did. They made sacrifices and all sorts of things. So if they were capable of having a spiritual, an animal as a spiritual icon, why wouldn't we think that, I suppose, the ancient Ice Age people did too? It makes sense.
I would have thought that the animals and the weather would have been the first gods in every culture, because what else is there?
Well, it brought them life, didn't it? Because they could eat them.
Exactly.
I suppose. I suppose we can eat locusts and things like that, but I don't think many people would worship a locust.
No, you would. Locust?
God locust.
Random.
Just think of Bible, dear.
Tends to be the plague and the pestilence rather than the god. Yes.
Well, that's where we got it all wrong.
We should be worshipping the locusts.
Yes. Then they would leave
Stop
us alone.
press.
It's the mosquitoes, the great god mosquito. I've upset all the dogs now.
Yes, you have.
But having said that, then there was also the fact of the matter being that when you weren't on your back on some shaky scaffolding painting your god icon on the cave, you might be sitting by the mouth of the cave in front of a nice warm fire with a piece of bone or shell or wood or stone in your hand, and you might be joyfully carving a symbol into that,
Absolutely. And that's the thing, isn't it? Just because we've only got these Lascaux cave paintings left, there's no reason on earth to suppose that they weren't just a fraction of what was done, and they would have been probably the best and the biggest and the most amazing examples, but there would have been everyday art too, and there would have been craft, and there would have been everything in between, because if they can do this, then for sure they're doing everything else too.
They would start, wouldn't they? Like that program we watched about the Egyptian art, what's left of it at the moment, and how they start off their students with a bit of clay, and they kind of thump it about a bit and make it into a wonky shape, and then but then you move on, don't you? And you gradually become more and more skilled. So they would have sat down with a piece of wood and whittled it or carved it or done something to it, for sure.
Yep.
We know that they had stone tools that they could do those things with, so they must have done. And they wouldn't have only done it for necessity, because they did make jewellery, and they did make little toggles to put in their hair to hold it up into a bun at the top of their head, remember?
Well,
quite certain about that.
Yeah.
That's definitely in the racial memory.
Exactly. That's proved by the fact that as we devolve nowadays, that's what people have started to do again.
Have rather. Yes. And so obviously they did it for fun, for joy, for relaxation, and
for play. Like, children, I always think to myself that a lot of this stuff would have lived in the hands of the kids before they were, like a cat play fights until it can fight and hunt.
Yeah.
So a child would have played with the things that then became serious for an adult.
Mom, what can I draw?
Yeah.
Draw a house. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And in that way you learn how to build one eventually.
There you go. That's my house.
You've forgotten the door.
It's here.
Okay.
This is the cave. It's dark inside. Okay, dear, that's not very good, though. Let's try again, shall we? Let's have a nice house. Okay, I'll tell you what I want, Mum. I want a house like this.
What, are you, an alien?
What do you mean? It's logical, isn't it? No, that would never stand up.
No, how would you make that stand up?
You couldn't make that stand up.
It has to be curved.
All these points and the straight lines and things. And what are these stupid holes in the front there that let the wind in, wouldn't it? I prefer this one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, basically, that's how innovation works, isn't it?
And in between, we have 100,000 years. But going that way. Yes.
I seem to recall that we stopped the last podcast when we started to descend into silliness.
Well, that's probably when it was getting interesting. There you go.
Well, I've filled up my page.
That's brilliant. I think that's lovely. I think you are a cave girl.
Could I? I'll be dubbed cave
girl. It's just Tamsin has found her niche, her style. And the other thing, I want to end with a quote from Desmond Morris. I don't know who out there would remember him, but I do.
What they did. This is what
I
they did.
remember yes. He said, art is not a luxury. Everybody out there who's still with us, art is not a luxury. It is a survival tool. It binds the tribe together. So we are a tribe of artists bound together by the non-luxury. And so don't spend any more money because it's not a luxury.
It's a necessity.
Yes.
Would you like to shake my hand?
No, not really. Would you like to shake mine? We've really enjoyed this time-travelling experience into the world of our distant ancestors and now understand more about how deeply embedded in us all is the impulse to create art. Are we unique as creatures who create art? What do you think? So we'll say goodbye now until the next time when we'll be looking at something else equally interesting. So I'll say goodbye everyone. Bye-bye.